Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has finally concluded the long-awaited cabinet reshuffle. This is 12th time the Premier has restructured the Council of Ministers since assuming office. 3 new faces have been added while major post holders have been sacked. However, top brass leaders of the ruling party have expressed dissatisfaction regarding the appointments. Likewise, the Premier has once again been criticized for selecting controversial figures to the cabinet. Good morning, I'm Sarah Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Premier Oli finalizes on the long-awaited cabinet reshuffle. Leader Ishwar Pokhrel sacked from the Defence Ministry. Bishnu Paudel appointed as the Finance Minister. Over 2,600 new cases of COVID-19 confirmed in the past 24 hours, taking the national tally to almost 118,000. Death tally reaches 676 with 13 more deaths. The Thai government announces an emergency decree to combat protests in Bangkok against the monarchy, banning large gatherings. And Delhi Capitals defeat Rajasthan Royals by 13 runs in the Indian Premier League. Royal challengers Bangalore to lock horns with Kings 11 Punjab in today's fixture. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has reshuffled his cabinet, sacking Deputy Prime Minister Ishwar Pokhrel, keeping the defence portfolio with himself. Pokhrel has meanwhile been shifted to the office of the Prime Minister. It may be recalled Premier Oli had entrusted former Deputy Prime Minister Pokhrel with taking the government's decision during the coronavirus pandemic in his absence. However, the Deputy Prime Minister was widely criticized for allegedly taking decisions under the influence of vested interest group, including assigning Omni Group to procure medical equipment without calling for tender. Pokhrel was also criticized for involving Nepal Army in procurement process under G2G system. The new appointments have invited criticisms from within and outside the ruling party, as several controversial figures have been selected to the cabinet. The newly appointed Finance Minister Bishnu Paudel has been infamously connected with the Balwata land scam and Ansel tax episode. Meanwhile, Leela Nath Shrestha has been appointed to replace Parvat Gurung at the Ministry of Women, Children and Senior Citizens. Krishna Gopal Shrestha has been given the responsibility of urban development. 3 new faces were added in the cabinet, including 2 from former CPN-UML faction and 1 from former Maoist Centre. Meanwhile, factions led by Executive Chairman Pushpa Dahal and Senior leader Madhav Kumar Nepal expressed their dissatisfaction over the Prime Minister's one-sided decision to reshuffle the cabinet and have planned, as per sources, to raise the issue in the Secretariat and Standing Committee meetings. The new ministers will be administered the oath of office and secrecy at 11 a.m. today at the President's office at Sheetal Niwas. 2,638 new COVID-19 cases were confirmed in the country in the past 24 hours, taking the total number of coronavirus cases to 117,996. 13 more COVID-19 deaths were confirmed in the past 24 hours, taking the COVID-19 death tally to 676. Out of the newly infected, 1,403 infected cases were reported from the federal capital in the past 24 hours. Kathmandu district alone confirmed 996 cases, while Lalitpur reported 305 cases and Bhaktapur reported 102 cases. 2,174 individuals registered full recovery in the past 24 hours, taking the national recovery tally to 80,954. However, the recovery rate has dropped down to 68.6%. According to the ministry, there are over 36,000 active cases in the country, out of which 14,819 are in isolation centers, while 21,548 are in home isolation. The ministry informed that 70 patients are receiving treatment in ventilators, while 305 are in ICUs. 5,000 out of 25,000 metric tons of diammonium phosphate or DAP fertilizers imported by the Salt Trading Corporation have been reported as unusable. The corporation has been denying taking responsibility, while the contractor company, Swiss Singapore, has not submitted documents, leaving the fertilizers stranded at the port. The government had assigned Salt Trading Corporation to import 25,000 metric tons of DAP fertilizers for winter crops this year. The corporation had contracted Singapore company. However, 100,000 sacks of fertilizers have been found wet and unusable. Meanwhile, the Dry Port Custom Office has informed that it has not received any documents related to the import from the company. During imports of fertilizers, the contractor company by rule carries out load port survey, while the importer company of the receiving country carries out unload survey. Based on the survey report of port load and unload, the custom decides whether or not to release the material. Salt Trading Corporation, however, has been denying taking the responsibility of the wet fertilizer sacks, saying that the contractor company is accountable for the material. The corporation has claimed that the ocean winds has caused for the damage to the fertilizers. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked the teachers in Rukum how have they been conducting classes amid the coronavirus pandemic. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
कुनै क्लासमा 10 जना पनि छ सानो क्लासमा र 24 जना सम्म राख्ने गरी हामीले चाहिँ नियमित पठन पाठनको व्यवस्था गरेका छौं अहिले।
विद्यार्थीहरूलाई एउटा बेन्चमा 2 जना राखेर पढाइराखेको छ।
यहाँ एकजना स्टाफ नर्स यहाँ कार्यरत हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँले विद्यार्थीहरूलाई मनोविमर्शका कुराहरू, भौतिक दूरीका कुराहरू, त्यसपछि स्वास्थ्य संक्रमित अवस्थाबाट कसरी बच्न सकिन्छ भन्ने कुराहरूलाई सहजीकरण गर्दै हामीले कक्षा सञ्चालन गरेका छौं।
ज्वरो नाप्ने कुरा, अब तापक्रम घटी बढी, कोही यदि तापक्रम बढी भएको विद्यार्थीलाई हामीले 2 जनालाई फिर्ता गरेका छौं।
कक्षा सञ्चालन त्यति प्रभावकारी छैन किनकि प्रत्येक शिक्षकहरू र विद्यार्थीहरू एउटा भय र आतंकको मनस्थितिमा छन्।
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's your question. What's your take on the decision to bar COVID-19 infected applicants from the Public Service Commission examination? Your options are A. Compulsion, B. Discriminatory, and C. Managerial inefficiency. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.